Hi! Hello, my dear patrons. This is my very first Patreon exclusive video, and I'm going to make it public to all my patrons. And the reason is because for a very long time, I only had members in the first tier, and the first tier offers like live streams, which instead of live streams, we've done Zoom calls because I don't have that many patrons, and it's okay to do Zoom calls at the point. Like if in the future I would have a lot of patrons, of course, maybe Zoom calls will not be possible, although I might try to do that because I think it's nicer when I can see your faces as well. So that's why I've not had a video here, but here it is. This is my first one. So thank you so much for joining my Patreon. I really appreciate it. I would like for us to interact more on Patreon. I check the platform every single day, and yeah, so how are you guys doing? So I wanted to come on here and talk about the Marissa Peer situation because there's been a lot of things happening, and I'm not ready to make it public yet. So I thought I would just kind of give you a glimpse of this. Please don't, I know that you guys won't go ahead and talk about this to someone else, but please don't. I'm just going to say it. But because it's not yet, I'm not sure I can yet release this. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so about a year ago, 8 months ago or something like this, I made a video called Joe Dispenza and Marissa Peer Exposed, and I was talking, it was an essay, I was talking about motivational speakers, and I talked about red flags, and basically Joe Dispenza was the first red flag, Marissa Peer was the second. I also talked about Rachel Hollis in that video, but later I took that segment out because I wanted to talk about her separately. And then I kind of also talked about James Arthur Ray. So this was an essay explaining how I felt about motivational gurus and their industry altogether. That video, over time, it got to like 7,000 or 8,000 views, but it was like a really, really slow growth. It was nothing insane, or, you know, it was just getting like 5-10 views at a time to the point where it got to 8,000 views. And Marissa Peer came across it, and she commented on that, and she explained that she has this license from the International Association of Counselors and Therapists. She was saying that I defamed her, and basically, I didn't defame her. I didn't defame her at all. Like, first of all, I said she's not a therapist and she's taking liberties with this word. Later, I said in the second video, I made a second video about it, and I talked about her license because she has this license from what I think is a degree mill. And I talked about how, and I went on the website and I checked it out, and I also talked about her comment. So she then went ahead to have her lawyer send me a cease and desist letter. I replied to that letter because I think by the law you are meant to, I don't even know, guys, I was just Googling this. But I replied, and I was getting like more and more frustrated because they have no reason to believe this is defamation, and this is only an intimidation tactic. I've also been contacted by somebody who worked as a translator at Mind Valley, and we had a Zoom call, and basically they said they couldn't find anything on Marissa Peer when they were working there. They were doing some research, and there was gossip going around saying that she actually intimidates people or whatever, gets people criticism online about her, takes it down somehow. And then once I had an interaction with her lawyer, this was an actual law firm in London, so I did all my research. I know basically I realized that's what she does. Like, she intimidates them with legal threats. And obviously a lot of people feel intimidated. I feel intimidated. The only reason why I didn't feel like they have a case was because I had been following the Without a Crystal Ball defamation case on YouTube. And I know that being opinionated is not illegal. So, but if I hadn't been following that so closely, because I was watching Emily D. Baker, I don't know if I would have known. I would have probably been scared and taken them down. But anyway, so I made a second video and I talked about that. And then the back and forth with her lawyer was like interminable. She would just keep sending her lawyer to send me letters and stuff. They found an address here in Glasgow, and they sent letters to that address that isn't mine, thinking that it's mine. And it's just very, like, basically they're really going for intimidation. Like, they're not they were not backing down. And at one point, I just sent her an email. Granted, I was like not super nice to her lawyer because I was like so mad. I was like, how dare you, basically. And in the last email, I said, I am tired of this charade. And I said, stop sending me emails. If you want to sue me, go ahead and sue me. Please just leave me alone. So anyway, I think at that point she realized that she had no case against me, and that I wasn't going to be intimidated and I wasn't going to back down. So once she realized this, she contacted somebody, what's his name? Something Gonzalez, I think, who was like a footballer, American footballer, and he has this podcast on YouTube called Wide Open, and he had her on his podcast, and she said in that podcast that she did not finish school. So I used that 35-second clip in my video, both the videos. So she basically contacted that guy, and that guy raised a false copyright strike against my videos, and my videos were taken down by YouTube. I have now appealed, and YouTube have forwarded this to him, and he will have to prove that he took legal action against me, court action, not even legal action, but he would have to prove that he's done that against me in order for these videos to continue to have the copyright strike. Otherwise, they will just reinstate my videos. So I'm kind of hopeful. I just got these emails today, and I'm really hopeful that it will be fine, because this was not a copyright, this was a false copyright strike. In the UK, it's called fair dealing. On YouTube, it's called fair use. You're allowed to use certain content for commentary, for review, for parodies, criticism, reporting, and so on. So I explained this in the copyright appeal, and hopefully it's fine. Hopefully the videos are going to come back. But I'm telling you, this person is really... there's only one article out there against her. There's nothing else against her. I asked for proof several times to her lawyer. I said, listen, I'm going to retract my statements. I'm going to take my videos down if you give me proof that she actually has a license. And they've not given me proof. Twice, I said this twice in the emails, and then he just wrote it in a letter. And then he sent the letter. I ignored it because it was just like him writing on paper, basically. Then I said that again. I said, if you give me proof, please just provide proof. And then he said something like, we will send you proof once again, even though we've already done it. And then I replied to him, I was like, this is not proof. This is just you typing this onto a letter. I need proof. Just the fact that you say, oh, Marissa Peer has done this and that, does not mean she's done this and that. Anyways, it's very, very dangerous, because this is genuinely just censorship, you know? So... it feels really good to get that off my chest. So thank you guys for listening. If these videos are reinstated, I will make another video to talk about it. And they have threatened me with like so many letters, and to be honest, they don't have a case, because you're allowed to be opinionated, and so I'm not scared from that perspective. If they were to go to court, if they were to take me to court, it would be considered bad faith, because you're not meant to waste the court's time. So let's say it's not considered bad faith, though. It would be. But let's say it's not going to be considered bad faith. Honestly, I even said, and I think that maybe she took as a threat, I was like, you know, that would make for very engaging content if you take me to court. But I'm not afraid, because this isn't defamation. Like, you're allowed to do commentary, you're allowed to make an essay, you're allowed to express opinions. So, man. Yeah, so I'm going to make a video about this publicly on YouTube if the copyright strikes are taken off. And, you know, and even if the copyright strikes are not taken off, once they expire, I will still make a video about this, because I refuse to be censored like that. I know what is fine and what's not fine, what's ethical and what's not ethical. After all, I am a documentary maker in real life, so I know what's fine to talk publicly about, and I just refuse to let her threats of defamation, you know, intimidate me in any way. So yeah, okay. So thank you so much for listening again, and yeah, I'll make more videos for Patreon now that I have more patrons in tier 2. So thank you guys very much for your support. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to leave you. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely week. I hope you guys are doing well through the pandemic. I'm hoping that we are close to the end. So yeah, have a lovely day. Bye.